Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the first installment of our interview series. Today, we have a very special guest, Mr. Andrew Warren with Alpha 180. Thank you for being here today, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So, really, we wanted to do this to kind of highlight some of the awesome people and programs in the recovery world and give you all a little opportunity to share some more information about yourself. So, I guess first, if you want to just give us a brief introduction of who you are, where you're from.
Yeah, so my name's Andrew Warren. I'm 26 years old. I'm originally from Southern California, but through circumstance and treatment and recovery, I ended up out in the hill country of Texas. And I am a member of 12 Step Recovery. I've been sober for going on 3 years now. And I am the admissions and outreach coordinator for Alpha 180, which is a program I'm an alumni of. Um, I also am a student in long-term recovery. So I am a full-time student at the University of Texas as well as working here. And it sort of jives nicely because our mission at Alpha 180 is building a bridge to college and recovery. And so it's something I felt passionately about. It changed my life a lot. And that's what brings me here in the background of me sitting in this chair today.
Awesome, man. That's super cool. So I guess my first question was, how you got involved working with Alpha, but it sounds like your experience as an alumni might have had something to do with that.
Yeah, so my background with collegiate recovery and being here today starts at a treatment center out in the hill country when our executive director, Nico Dorn, I had him around 15 or 20 days sober, and he came out to visit and sat down on a couch across from me. Really awesome guy. I'd never really met anyone like him in recovery, and he just told me, "Did you know that you could go to college in recovery? That this is possible?" And he told me his story, and it was nothing like I'd ever heard before. The idea of going to school in recovery was far out. A lot of the messages we get in the rooms in early recovery is like, really take it easy, take it slow, get a get well job. And those are all good things. But what I was hearing in the message from Nico was, you don't have to stop going after your dreams. This is why we got sober, to do amazing things. And I feel like that was a big key component missing to my recovery, because addicts and alcoholics we're special people. We're driven. It's the list goes on and on for some of the positive character attributes that we have that really make us our own breed. Um, and so I came to Alpha 180, and I dove into the program head first. I started slow, taking one community college class, then two, then four, continued clinical work and really got myself involved with the steps, worked them thoroughly a couple of times, and ended up moving on. But what happened for me was I really found a new identity in the classroom, and that identity gave me something to work for. I had something to grab onto again, a goal to look forward to. Um, and this had such a profound impact on me that I knew I had to come back and work for Alpha.
Yeah.
I believed in the mission so much. Um, and so after being away from the program for a while, I was approached and asked Nico. I said, "Hey, I would love to come and work for you guys." And I worked in direct client care for a while, really getting my feet wet, understanding what working with the new guy in recovery looks like. And I really enjoyed it. And then I think my passion for working with families and really carrying the message in the classroom, outside of the classroom, and to the public
Mhm.
sort of set me up to be in this position today where I get to do things like this and talk about what it looks like to be a member of collegiate recovery, a member of Alpha 180, and get to work with programs like ALR and help bridge the gap for their guys who want to do what we do. in the community. So it's awesome.
That's super cool, dude. I wish I had known about something like that when I was in school. I mean, I made it through, but definitely forgot a lot of the learning I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like what you mentioned about that mindset of like, you know, what do we get sober for? You know, you got to take some action and make your life worth living. You know, that's super
Yeah.
cool. So I guess like, what is your favorite part of your day-to-day work life?
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, first of all, I love living in Austin. I think this community here, with the amount of recreation and the amount of recovery opportunities, is just phenomenal. Like with with all of the different programs coming together for so many different events, and I just don't feel like I'm at work all the time. You
Yeah.
know, whether it's a multi-treatment center volleyball tournament out at the Any Length Ranch, or 50 people in Waipaw rafting down the San Marcos River together. It's like, whoa, I'm getting paid to do something that I love to do. Like, this is the dream.
Yeah.
Um, but I think what I love most about my job is being able to help the moms. I put my mother through a lot as an addict for years and years and years, doing ridiculous things and stealing, and just looking at my mom and seeing the emotional turmoil in her while I was suffering, uh, really gave me a purpose to try to help the families of these students that we're helping. And so I just really take passion and really want to find ways and opportunities to help families out, because recovery takes a tribe. You know, we need to move from our head to our heart, and discover what that looks like for us, but we cannot do that without other people. And so first and foremost, it's those initial contacts that we make in, you know, our therapists and our 12-step groups. But I mean, it's a family situation. And so seeing the family healing and watching families come to graduations, and watching their students do something with their life again, it's a pretty profound experience, very impactful experience, and emotional for me, because I wanted that so bad for my own mom for a really long time. And so getting to help out the families is probably the highlight of my interactions day to day.
That's awesome, man. It's I always thought it was a cliche, but you hear that saying like you do something you're passionate about and it feels like you never work a day in your life. But
Yeah.
there's some truth to that statement. So for people tuning in that have maybe not heard of Alpha 180, how would you describe the program to someone that's maybe looking into different options? What does y'all's program look like?
Yeah, so we're an extended care model, and so we're really that next step down after residential treatment, wilderness programming, or therapeutic boarding school. And so what that looks like is we have a 4-building facility in the West Campus district of the University of Texas at Austin. 3 of them are sober residences, and one of them is our clubhouse. The clubhouse is definitely sort of a hub, one of the hubs of young people recovery in Austin. We host 5 12-step meetings a week. We do sober tailgates for many of the UT sporting events, and really just have like an awesome series of speakers and things going on almost weekly, it seems like, really during the summer, especially in fall during big sports season. So it's a very vibrant community. You know, I think a lot of people um, talk about the clinical care, and we do have an exceptional level of clinical care. You know, everyone, we have all master's level therapists. We have an amazing educational resources team. We just partnered with Lauren Bourgeois Boutique Educational Services, which is a really one-on-one structured learning environment that aids our students in whatever form of education they're in. So whether that's they need to finish high school, or they're a community college ready or university ready student, We have that, but that is coupled with our community model. And so all of those things are really good, but if you don't have a strong family unit within the guys themselves, those things don't add up as much and they don't come to fruition. And so what I think is important to highlight in when I am trying to describe the vibe or the essence of our program, it's extremely family oriented, open door policy from every level to executive leadership to the residential staff team, to the house managers. Everyone's really on the same page about our mission. And most of our employees are in the mission. Like myself, we are students in recovery or have been students in recovery. And so I think that's important because the accountability, the structure comes from within. The guys are involved with the event planning. They're involved with holding their brothers accountable. They are the heart. So we just try to foster a platform for them to go and follow through with their dreams. And that's the part that's really, it's hard to describe to people, right? You really have to come and see it for yourself. But I think that's the real essence of our program, is that our students are the driving force, and they sort of shift the dynamic and right the ship. And really, I mean, it's just amazing. So
It's awesome. I think that's one of my favorite things about y'all's program is it like fills this need that there's not a lot of options for. Like I've seen it when I was a house manager in sober living. It's like these young guys that just feel like they're too young to be in recovery, or everyone around them just doesn't, they don't feel like they fit in. Like having that place where it's like you said, you know, that community of people all doing the same thing with like the same purpose. I think it's super powerful. And it's awesome that y'all do that. So let's say that, you know, someone's on y'all's website or watching this and they feel like their son might be a good fit for this program. What does the admissions process look like? Who's the best person to get in touch for that kind of information?
yeah, absolutely. So I would say we have a bit of a unique admissions process in the sense of, because the community is so important, we really don't take people against their will. So someone coming to Alpha 180 has to be interested in being here. Their mom and dad or their significant other or their grandparents, whoever the party may be, can't be the ones interested for them. And so we know what that looks like. Someone are 30 at 60, 90 days sober. Some people can have an amazing amount of willingness and some people might be tentative, but there has to be a little bit of fire going for us to work with, because there is a high amount of expectations and a lot of work that individually goes in from the student to participating in our program. Yeah. So I am the admissions coordinator. I'm reachable through the number on our website. And how it works is I will generally give someone a program overview. A lot of people may have heard of it and are excited already. Then I will do a student interview. And that's really just a way for us to get a sense of that student and a way for them to get a sense of us. So I think what's really important in what teams like yourself and what we do amazingly is we're extremely transparent about what we offer. So people are signing up for what they think they're getting into ahead of time. Yeah. We're big book 12-step based. Our clinical model is trauma focused. You're expected to participate in events and activities and be an active member of the recovery community here. You're expected to participate in service work. And so we make that really clear on the front end to the students, that we don't want to waste your time, and you can have an amazing experience if you're ready to do these things. You know, usually people are very fired up about this, especially if they're in a place and they're ready to take some action and move forward. And then like typical, I would do a medical pre-screen and make sure someone's fit to be in treatment. So our program's a minimum of 5 months. So we're just making sure that healthfully, mind, body, spirit, they're they're good and ready to go and ready to be living in an environment with other young men, and that's going to be a good option for them. We make sure that through that process, we're getting them fit with the right therapist and the right academic advisor. And then it's go time. The student gets here, and it's launch on arrival. They are assigned a big brother, and that big brother walks them through their first couple of weeks, and it's all systems go.
Very cool, man. Well, this was really helpful information. I think it was like a good overview. Want to say thank you again for being here today. Thank you guys at Alpha for what y'all do. Yeah, man, I hope once all this quarantine stuff done, we can get together and play some volleyball or something.
Yeah, ALR has been kicking our butts in sports in recent memory, but our old catchphrase was catch us at a spelling bee and see what happens. But since our guys have been at the ranch, we've been playing a lot of basketball and a lot of football every day and doing a lot of working out. So I'm thinking that Alpha 180 might take a volleyball or basketball or football title back from ALR over the summer, which I'm pretty excited about because I'm tired of losing to ALR in sports. So
that's awesome, man. Well, I'm excited.
Cool. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Have a good one.